Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn and welcome to the channel. We have some more reaction content for you today. We are going to be checking out the reveal of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. The official reveal trailer. Now, we did get a small little hint at it at the Game Awards, but that was like a teaser trailer, and by a teaser trailer, I mean we saw a planet and Liara and then the logo, and then that was it. There wasn't really like anything. I don't know what's in this. I'm really hoping that what we're about to see is basically just like before and after shots of like, here's how this game looked in 2008 when it was ugly as shit, and here's what we did to make it look good now. That's what I'm hoping for. The trailer's in 4K, which gives me hope because, let me tell you what, 13-year-old textures at 4K do not look very good. I love the Mass Effect trilogy a lot. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time. Now, that excludes Mass Effect Andromeda, but that's a different conversation. And one of the things that's been talked about a lot is a HD remaster collection port trilogy of Mass Effect. So, let's see. Let's see if they gave us hope or not. Let's see if our hope had foundation or not. Because I hope it did. I really hope it did. This is something that I could be extremely disappointed with. The groundbreaking sci-fi epic. Remastered in 4K Ultra HD. These are cinematic, so of course these look good. I want to see in-game stuff. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Okay. Still a lot of scripted stuff. I mean, it still looks good. The character models looked good. Hey, there's FemShep. They barely showed FemShep at all in like anything else. It better include all the DLC.
You were born to do this.
Cool. Cool. Do I mean Halo Redemption? No, I do not mean Halo Redemption. Isn't 4K by definition Ultra HD already? Like, so here's the thing, like, you can turn you can up-res a shitty texture into 4K textures to where it'll be like a 4K game, but it'll still look like a 720p texture, and that's like the problem, is a lot of these remasters of old games end up needing like a lot of redone texture work. Like a lot of the skeletons and models and stuff like that can just be reused, but it's normally the textures that stand out when you increase definition a lot. See, nothing to be excited yet. Personally, same old characters, better looking. I wasn't expecting anything more than that, though, Eve, I don't expect them to do anything at all beyond make the game prettier. I hope that they made Mass Effect 1 more playable, like, just in general, because it was a pretty... It was definitely the most rough experience of the trilogy. Like, Mass Effect 1, by all means, is the worst of the three. Still a good game, but it plays really clunkily. Mass Effect 2, incredible, really good, probably the best. I personally really loved 3, but there's definitely a lot of issue with Mass Effect 1, and it's not without cause. And here, this is just the reveal. We can always keep on to a little bit of hope that they clean up and smoothen out the gameplay in Mass Effect 1. Now you can fuck, marry, and kill every character in stunning 4K Ultra HD at over 100 FPS. Oh yeah, and there's space and guns and shit. Yeah, whatever. If it only makes it prettier than a major hard pass, Andromeda is still the most fun out of all of them. I didn't like Andromeda, like, at all. It was a completely different game than what the original trilogy was. And when I was coming off of the high of the original trilogy, because I got done playing the original trilogy for the very first time, like 4 months before they announced Mass Effect Andromeda. So I wasn't in there at the beginning. I played all of them back to back to back, just one long playthrough. And I expected Mass Effect Andromeda to just be Mass Effect 4. I understood it wouldn't have the same characters or anything like that, but I expected it to be, we've improved the gameplay in this series with every iteration. 2 is better than 1, and 3 played better than 2, and I wanted 4 to play better than 3 while still feeling like Mass Effect. And while it did play better in a lot of ways, it no longer felt like Mass Effect. It felt a lot of like how people felt when Resident Evil 5 came out compared to the rest of the Resident Evil franchise before it. Resident Evil 5 is a really fun game, but it's a really shitty Resident Evil game. Same way that a lot of fans of like the Legend of Zelda series felt betrayed by Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild, incredible game, very shitty Zelda game. And when you have that expectation based on your own like foundations that the game has laid out for you moving forward, when they take such a drastic deviation from the formula, it's very off-putting. It's very jarring to a lot of people. This is how people argue about Star Trek. I know nothing about Star Trek at all. I don't even know if I've watched an entire single episode of Star Trek. But outside of hoping that one plays better, I certainly won't mind a fully mashed together trilogy of Mass Effect. I will probably replay through it, even if they don't improve upon Mass Effect 1. God, I hope they do. But right now, all it looks like they're doing is actually like making the characters like texture improvements, which I mean is good, because especially if they do it well in Mass Effect 1, that game looks old. And so it can definitely benefit a lot from it. But yeah, I hope we see more. Do we know when? Have they said when? Have they said when? Oh, hey, here we go. On their website, remastered and optimized for 4K Ultra HD. They got the neat little slider. Although, like, it's like doesn't fit on my screen. If I can pick it up cheap, I might play it. But if there's only HD textures and characters, then not really something I'd pick up even for cheap. That's fine. Everyone can. Which game is this? Is this Mass Effect 1? I'm not sure if I feel like this looks that much better. Like there's like this weird haze going on. Like they improved the UI considerably. Like I like the UI changes. The character model looks better. I can see the texture improvements in the environment, but this haze makes it look weird. The left one looks better. You know, like I'm feeling the same way. And so, like the character model here definitely looks better. The character model definitely looks better. I like the UI update, but the environment, I feel like it's so washed out. But that's what they do a lot of the times with these improvements, is that they think that washing everything out with like this ridiculous bloom lighting makes it look better. Which, I mean, realistic lighting is great and all, but not if you take away from what you're actually looking at. Interesting. Like, they've done more than just texture improvements. Like, we can see with this like bar here that like the bar itself is different. Like it's been almost like somewhat retouched in terms of like a remodel. Might be the atmosphere. Yeah. Haven't actually played any of them, so I'm going to check this out when it comes out. It's a good experience. I strongly recommend it. I mean, you're definitely, if they don't improve the gameplay, you're in for a slightly clunky experience with Mass Effect 1, but the journey is really good. Bloom is horrid in almost every single game. Yeah, it's not used the best. Okay, so there's more in here. Here's more video. Okay, this is a cutscene, though. And, like, this definitely looks better. But I would also, like, expect it to. Like, this definitely looks significantly better, significantly more polished. There's, like, a lot of anti-aliasing. They've done a significantly better job with how the lighting works here. Like, this looks like a genuine improvement, whereas, like, this first video was not great. Oh, here's a good character comparison. Before. What's with these bloom lights everywhere? Holy God! Calm down with the bloom, my guys. This stretches all the way across the screen. You can see the texture, like, in his cheeks and stuff. And how it's been improved. Like, they definitely did a good job on the textures, but can I turn down the bloom lighting? God. Here's actual gameplay, though, and this is Mass Effect 1. And do they do any fighting in this? I honestly don't think it looks that much better either. I mean, the bloom across the screen certainly didn't help. The cutscene I could definitely tell a very large improvement on. One thing to keep in mind also, Eve, is that your screen here is smaller than what I'm seeing as well. And you're also getting it through Twitch, so it's compressed. So it's even lower quality for you than normal. Do they actually do any movement or, like, they run a little bit here? It's like J.J. Abrams did all the editing. Thanks to Abrams and his freaking love of lens flares. They show so little. I hope we get, like, a proper gameplay reveal or gameplay comparison or something at some point. Is there anything else on here? We were originally looking for official announcement article. Pre-order now. Well, I don't want to Haha! Thank you. But the pre-order did have the date on it. Launches May 14th, 2021 on Origin, Steam, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and is compatible with the next generation. That's 3 months away? 3.5 months? That's not too bad. I have hope. It wasn't as grand of a reveal as I had hoped for, but it wasn't completely disappointing either. And, like, the only thing, like, God, this fucking, the light blooms, though. Like, that's problematic for me, but I probably won't notice it as much as it is in, like, these still shots, especially this one. Good Lord. I've seen worse remasters. Yeah, I mean, we've seen worse remakes. So, ultimately, though, the only thing that I am hopeful for is that they do put some gameplay improvements in, specifically in Mass Effect 1, and maybe have an ability to adjust the amount of light bloom. Why is this a comparison frame anyway? This one in particular is to show the comparison of the textures on, I forgot dude's name, assassin dude from Mass Effect 2. I forgot your name. Sorry, guy. I didn't care about you that much. So, to show the texture difference, mostly in his face. I guess you can see it in his clothes and stuff, too. Although this light bloom definitely takes away from it in a lot of ways and is very distracting. But there is definitely a lot more texture work done. And not just in, like, the texture in terms of, like, the colors and stuff, but actually, like, the actual physical texture. I think his jacket is most noticeable because it goes from this just, like, blurred texture to, one, getting smaller, and two, having, like, this more hexagon texture that's much more defined in the higher definition. You can see it also down here in, like, his suit and stuff like that. You can also see some changes in his skin underneath his cheeks and up on his forehead and stuff. But yeah, I'm ready to see more. I hope they show us more before it launches on May 14th, but yeah. In any circumstance, to everyone that is watching this currently on YouTube, what was your thoughts of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition reveal of the Ultra HD And whether you feel like it is doing service to the series, to the trilogy, and whether it is enough for you that you might consider buying it and playing through it again. If so, let us know. If not, let us know why not. I would love to hear from you. Also, we do these reactions live on Twitch, which is why you've seen us talking back and forth with our wonderful chat over here. We do these primarily on Tuesdays and Thursdays after our main scheduled content, and a lot of these trailers are provided by the community. There's a channel dedicated to it in our Discord server, and there's links to all of everything I just talked about down in the description below. There's other reaction videos that you can go watch, as well as a series called First Impression, where we play through the beginning of a video game and then review it from the perspective of only what it shows us in its very opening moments. Whatever that ends up being. Sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes it's like an hour. It kind of fluctuates depending on the game. So, in any case, if you do go check out one of those other YouTube videos, or if we see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy.